Hey guys, so today I brought the art that I made during the month of June. So one of the things which I tried this month, which I called stream of consciousness art, is basically I did some digital art pieces and I didn't really have a plan for them. I just went on my tablet and just started like adding stuff. It was mainly with my flowers, which I want to talk about next. But basically in these pieces there's no direction and I just start with like a concept and just flow intuitively until I decide that it's done. I don't have any references or anything, which is what made this project so fun. I'm gonna show some examples, but basically what I was going for with this stream of consciousness art is to imagine my flowers in a digital space, since I really have like the environments in which they live in, but I was trying to like imagine it digitally, which it turned out nice, and I'm trying to incorporate that into some products, which stay tuned for that. They're not ready yet. And so the next thing I want to talk about is obviously my flowers. If you guys don't know, I mentioned it on my previous video, but this month of June I designed these flowers based on orchids, and they all have like the rarity levels and like the things and perks that they give the character in my story. And so I did some notes in my sketchbook, and these are the stickers that I made out of them. They're gonna be on my shop soon, but I'm still doing some prep stuff. And so the first flower is this one, the one that looks like fire. It actually doesn't have any fire, but like you guys will see with the name and stuff. I haven't, well, I don't have a name for it right now, but I'm calling it multiplication. But it's also like I'm on the fence about calling it safe haven because of the description that I'm about to give. So I read safe haven. The name comes from its location, the Garden of Life. And also you guys, if you guys know what the Garden of Life is, I'm working on this bigger piece which I mentioned a few videos ago, but it's this big piece that's, well, the Garden of Life. And yeah, this flower has healing properties that are represented in the 3 dots found in each petal. So if you guys see closely, I drew green dots on each of the petals, and those dots basically have a function, and that is they heal the player. That's why it's found in the Garden of Life, hence the multiplication and all of those motifs. Flower, which is my absolute favorite. I love this one, and it goes with my outfit too. The green and pink combo, I just love it. But basically this flower, I forgot the name, it's called Ephemera Bliss. So basically just joining it with the pure Blissfield's name, like all of that stuff. Ephemera comes from the fact that it disappears. So the description reads, Ephemera Bliss is the rarest flowers of them all. It is found in moonshine meadows. Once the flower blooms, it stays visible for only a limited time. After that, it can only be found in the next blooming season. The droplet in the center is the only thing that remains after. Adjacent to the flame in the ornament, it lights your path and whispers of things to come. So basically this is one of the lucky you flower if you found it, because since it disappears it's not gonna be an easy task, which I absolutely love what I did with these flowers. Like I outdid myself really. But yeah, the flower is found in Moonshine Meadows, one of my worlds that I drew. I have a drawing up on my Instagram if you guys don't know, but I also just put it up on the video, which it has my favorite ornament, which is this one over here. So the next flower is this one. It doesn't have a name yet, but I'm just calling it Pink Mountains because it resides on pink mountains. But basically with this flower is found in the Sacred Mountains or the Pink Mountains. The ornament found in the center emits a light that allows it to be seen due to the heavy clouds in the environment. I started a sketch for this like Sacred Mountains place like a few months ago, but I haven't finished it yet. And so as soon as I'm done with that, you guys will see. But yeah, this flower belongs to the Sacred Mountains, and the ornament in the middle emits a light that guides your path too. One of the motifs in my art this month was bubbles, which explains this flower right here. It's called Aquilarum, and basically it resides on the Bubble Palace, a drawing that I made like in the month of May actually. So it resides on that palace, and I'm gonna read my descriptions again. Bubble Palace is underwater, which explains why it hasn't popped yet. There's an element in the water that stops this from happening. The flower has the same properties, and it can be used when traveling to land. Basically like the bubble in Wicked, like the one that Glinda uses, kind of like that. The atmosphere here doesn't allow you to travel without a bubble. Popping the flower before it reaches its peak causes a reaction that leads to its decay. So I wanted to mix like the bubbles thing, since they're so ephemeral. I wanted to mix that with the flower, which explains why if you pop it before it blooms, like it can cause a decay in all of the other flowers. But yeah, in terms of technique, this was the first flower that I did, and I really like how the purple bits turned out. And here you can see like the ornament in each of them, which is a detail that I really love. They're all based on orchids, if I haven't said that already. These are the flowers of places past. That title was very random, so like, yeah. These are the flowers, which I'm gonna be turning on some really cute stationery, so stay tuned for that. My next drawing, surprisingly, involves a flower, if you can tell which one. But basically this drawing, I was just sketching a fountain, and it's kind of like related to the Garden of Life painting. This would be just a smaller version. By the way, this one is made with Prismacolors, like the color pencils. But this drawing has a fountain, clearly, the Fountain of Life. I'm working on a life theme a lot, because it's one of my favorites. This fountain has some water, which creates like this rainbow effect, and it has healing properties, hence the water of life. There are some multiplication flowers, if you can see them. The fountain, the water surrounds the fountain in the floor, which kind of ties to the whole unity thing with the circle, like coming back to your beginnings and being complete. And yeah, the 3 stars are just a motif that has been on my work a lot of times. I would say that it ties with the Holy Trinity, if you haven't read my zine. But yeah, I kind of explained that motif over there. And yeah, I tried to make like some techniques with the contrast and stuff in this painting, and it didn't take me a lot of time, which I really like, because that just says that like I'm getting comfortable with the color pencils. But yeah, the title for this painting, I was thinking Window of My Soul. In terms of bigger canvases, I was working this June on this piece right here. It's still a work in progress, so like it's not done, but it's watercolor, and of course it has a focus on Rainbow Girl again. I was kind of inspired by the Frutiger Metro, like all of the objects and elements like splashing everywhere, so I wanted to recreate that on my work. I added some motifs like the ephemeral bliss flower and the music notes and the water flowing. I really like that concept I did right there. But yeah, I'm hoping to finish it very soon. Like I wasn't trying to rush it, hence why it took me a month. But yeah, this piece like came to me very randomly while I was sketching. In fact, I have the sketch right here. Is this sketch over here, and so like I decided that I really liked it and I wanted to do it on some bigger scale. June was such a creative month for me. I had time to like experiment with stuff on like mediums, which you're gonna be seeing some stuff soon. Stay tuned for the stickers that I mentioned and also some other stuff. I'm working on trying to look for alternatives to make another shirt, because this one that I made, it wasn't cheap to get the sample done, so I'm trying to research some cheaper alternatives to like try and experiment with merch again, like apparel and stuff. But also I wouldn't mind doing like a DIY one-of-one thing. So that was the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed seeing all my art in this month. I also have an Instagram where I mostly active my art Instagram, so you can check that out. But yeah, thank you so much for watching and see you on the next video.